Hello there, sword friends. Today I'm going to unbox some swords from Romance of Men. They sent me a couple more samples to take a look at. There's supposed to be improvements based on some of the feedback from the first review I did, so that is what this video is. I'm just going to unbox some pieces and give some initial impressions. There's one. Incidentally, packing-wise, this is like styrofoam wrapped in some tape. It survived the journey, and it's not terribly expensive to make, and I happen to like that over sword boxes. Not that I don't enjoy sword boxes, but they tend to sit in the corner. I hang my swords on the wall, and I feel like if I'm getting a sword box with a sword purchase, then I'm paying for a box and not for the sword itself. So, yeah, I don't happen to like that, but that's just me. All right, anyway, so some initial impressions here. Last time one of the bags they sent me started coming apart. This one hasn't left residue and stuff on my hands, so that's already an improvement. It's got that new sword smell. It still smells kind of lacquery, but I'm not seeing that the Sageo has been tied on so tight that it's leaving marks, at least not yet. This one has some, I'm not sure what this substance is coating the Suba, but it has a silvery kind of look, or it's white. I haven't seen that color. All right. So last time as well, there was some problems with the Ito, or at least that was one of the main complaints that I had was Ito related. This one is tighter. It is not tight in that if you see here, I can move the diamonds around still somewhat on the freely side, but they're not completely displacing when I do that. This looks like imitation Samigao, but I can still, with enough force, I can kind of separate these diamonds pretty easily. And as I move it one around a lot, it's starting to loosen up a little bit more. So Ito is still on the looser side here. Kashra is not coming off. It looks like imitation Samigawa. Overlap here. This is a pretty big ledge on one side and none on the other, so it looks a little off. Has a neat dragon saya though. I'm not sure if that's how that's done, but it's neat anyway. Blade comes with a hefty amount of oil in it. Feeling wise, it's very light and very nimble feeling, and it's straight on the blade here. It doesn't waver off. Has a comfortable feeling. Also has a nice bohi, kind of the dual. Can't remember the name of that. Very sharp, at least initial impressions there. It's got a big hangover on the habaki. This back piece is sticking out where it's not supposed to be. A little bit of horizontal play, no lateral play. And there's actually a gap here. The seppa is too big and there's a spot where I can make out, I can see inside. That's not ideal. It's like the habaki is not on straight or pushed over where it should be. Anyway, there's some alignment issues, initial impressions, but yeah, apart from Ito and some alignment stuff here, it feels nimble. It comes very sharp, and it has a very bold appearance. It's not personally an aesthetic that I'm a huge fan of, but that's an aesthetic thing. That's a subjective thing, I should say. So maybe this is in your wheelhouse. Anyway, I can already see some flaws that'll come out in the review, but we'll see how well it holds up. The second one is actually something I requested from them for the purposes of comparison. I realized that I don't have a Wakizashi that I can cut with, and so I asked Romance of Men to send me one that isn't for the purposes of destroying, but rather that I can then use to do some comparison videos with, because I don't have a Wakizashi, and naturally I asked for something a little bit on the weird side. So one, shipping-wise, similar thing came with this red kind of blade, something that I don't deal a lot with. It smells like permanent markers, which is it's interesting. It's pretty sharp. I can feel a good keen edge. And it has a really I don't know. It's handsome anyway. It's tough to see in the light that I've got going on now, but it has a kind of a blood red kind of look. It also has a Suba that's a little bit on the risque side. There's some colorful artwork here going on in the Suba, which there's a historic name in Japanese for the risque or adult themed Suba on here. But it is something that was historically done. There were some exotic images and whatnot on some Suba, and I can't remember what the name for that was. But anyway, this blood red kind of Wakizashi with risque-looking Suba, that is one that I don't plan on destroying, but we use to do some comparisons on Wakizashi-wise. And feeling-wise, it's actually stout. It has a good feeling. It's got some stoutness to it. It's reasonably thick, but at the same time nimble, just because of its size. Ito has some similar movement. It wiggles just a little bit, and it has some similar overlap related kind of issues here, which are not ideal. Anyway, a fun Wakizashi. Thematically, it will probably appeal to a few of you, and and the blade as well has this color on it, which is a little different. So I'll get a chance to share some of that. I get asked a lot about some colored blades. This is the first chance that I'll actually get some camera footage of it when I do a review of it. Anyway, that's what I've got. Initial impressions. The Ito still needs a little bit of work. There's, again, some work fit and finish wise. The blades, though, are sharp and they actually feel pretty good. And there's risque adult themed options if that's your thing. So hopefully that was interesting. Special thanks to Romance of Men for sending me some samples to follow up on. I will get around to reviewing them in the not too distant future, hopefully. And if you have any questions, throw them in the commentary down below. I will endeavor to answer. That's all I've got. As always, cheers and thanks for watching.